you could never get the value back for Whiteside in a second-round draft choice. So what do? You go out and get a body for special teams and depth. It's a no-brainer. You were never going to get a player of a second-round quality on April 15th going into the first cuts. Welcome back, National Football Show. With your boy Big Sales. Hey, somebody confirmed that trade to Atlanta. If that just went down here, let me know if the Eagles have traded JJ to the Atlanta Falcons. I'd like to know that because I'll reach down there to Rich McKay and get some word on that. Let me know if he was traded to. Oh, you mean the Seahawks? Traded him to the Seahawks. Okay, so was he traded to the Seahawks? J-Jaw has been traded to the Seahawks. Great. Roster spot. Exactly what I talked about. And here's the one thing, though. Look, listen. Eagles have traded Whiteside to the Seahawks for DB Amadi. Ugo Amadi. Okay? I would say this to you. Before you rip it, because Whiteside was a second-round draft choice, right? Okay? You got a player here in the trade. And you're filling a need of depth in your secondary. Great. You don't want to pick, a 6th or 7th rounder? That's not going to help the Eagles. The Eagles are trying to build depth here. That's a good move. Kudos to Howie, because you know what he does? He gets a player instead of the pick because he knows a 6th or 7th rounder is not going to help his team. Dude, he doesn't need a 6th or 7th round draft choice next year. How many times do you think you're going to land on Jordan Malott in the 7th round? That was a project. The guy couldn't even know how to put his helmet on. This is a different deal here. Okay, depth. And look what he did. He's now going to keep another defensive back. Linebackers, DBs, special teams. This guy's going to play special teams for the Eagles. This is a special teams move. More so than anything. It's a special teams move. You should be looking at this if you're the Eagles like this. We got better on special teams, and we got better at depth in the secondary. You theoretically save some face here because he's a second-round draft choice. Now, I would try to do the same thing with Jalen Reagor. Get a player, if I can, okay, or he's getting cut because I need that roster spot. Right now, Howie's telling you depth is important to him right now. A 6th or 7th rounder in 2023 or 2024 doesn't do anything for him. Especially those late picks like that. Okay? It's continuing to build a roster here effectively and efficiently. Kudos. Okay? So, what'd you think about special teams? I didn't really think much about him because I didn't really think much about the Jets. Okay, I thought the Jets were unorganized. I thought their sideline looked terrible. I thought their team kind of gathered a little bit of momentum in the second half of that game against the Eagles. To me, the only reason that the Jets came back in that game was because the Eagles are not in the best of shape right yet. Ryan, Reagor's roster spot is more important than the cap hit right now. Okay? His roster spot to the Eagle management team, because get this. You know what Stoutland is telling Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni right now and all the personnel people? I got 9 guys, 10 guys in my O-line that could make this ball team. And I'm not just talking about getting on the practice squad. I'm talking about being a factor where these guys, in case we have catastrophic injuries in the O-line, we got people that can cover it for a bit until people get back healthy. If the Eagles are going to win a Super Bowl this year or an NFC championship, it's going to be because of Jeff Stoughton's line. We still got work to do with Jonathan Gannon. Dude, those soft-ass approaches a little bit on covering wide up. 4 or 5 yards still off the ball. Got to be better there. Quality teams will beat you. And you got to be in better shape. You're not getting back in a player for player trade. A player that has Rager's talent. What talent? What Jalen Rager talent? You think 30 yards a game is talent? Okay? Jalen Rager is next up to try to figure this piece out. But Whiteside's, you could never get the value back for Whiteside in a second-round draft choice. So what do? You go out and get a body for special teams and depth. It's a no-brainer. You were never going to get a player of a second-round quality on April 15th going into the first cuts. Not happening. It's a strategically well-done move. Okay? Jalen Hurts, fast like a fox. Congratulations. I'm glad he's a fast runner. By the way, that Devin Allen experiment, he'll be cut tomorrow. I don't even think he played, did he? It's not happening. I thought maybe there could be something there for him when it came to special teams. Not happening. He'll be part of the cuts tomorrow, I would think. Keeping Rager is like keeping gonorrhea. Hey, Joseph, it's just I need his roster spot. I'll take the hit when it comes to money. I'll take the hit. Okay? I'll take the hit. I need that roster spot because I got to keep maybe an extra linebacker or I got to keep an extra offensive lineman. I'll take it. Okay? And Xander goes, then you cry about dead cap. Yeah, well, when I've got quality players, see here, the idea is to accumulate good football players. Not roster spots because, well, you drafted a guy and I should sit here and eat shit for 3 years. So what are we going to do? Put Jalen Rager because he's got some cap hit so that he's on the team for 3 unproductive years so that we don't have a cap hit. Give me the roster spot. Give me the roster spot. It's the last year of that contract anyway, isn't it? I don't think he has another year. Michael says, Sills thought the best thing of the game was Hurts rushing TD called back. To me, that's the worst part of that. He has to be coached the same way that Mike Vrabel is coaching Willis in Tennessee. Win a game, throwing the ball. That Goddard helicopter spin in the air, him diving into the end zone, I would put that in my wallet or in my phone for the rest of my life if I was Jalen Hurts, because that is how you win ball games. Found his tight end. His tight end smelled the end zone. Helicoptered it in the end zone. Boom, passing touchdown, red zone. Let's go. That's good. Rushing touchdowns suck from your quarterback position. Because in the end, you're not going to win Super Bowls on that play. You're going to win it with Montana hitting a guy like John Taylor in the back of the end zone. That's how you're going to win it. Hey, Joseph, Pete Carroll should resign. I don't know what he's doing up there. He should resign. Watch J-Jaw go up there and have himself a great career. Where'd he play his ball? Stanford? That's right. So he's kind of in the neck of the woods there with the Pac-12 and such. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll do something for him because he's back out there on the West Coast. He's a West Coast guy. I met him at the Pac-12 press conference a couple years ago. Hell of a kid. Wentz rushing touchdown versus the Rams in 17. Can we trade Gannon for Pete Carroll? I would like. Let me throw this at you here too before I get back to the Eagles here. That Dallas Cowboy football team that I watched and witnessed against the Broncos, 17 penalties for 129 yards. Mike McCarthy is the anchor around that franchise's neck. He gets asked about the penalties. Do you know what penalties are? Lack of discipline. And you know why there's a lack of discipline in Dallas? They think the coach is a joke. They think the head coach is a joke. He's got no autonomy to get in anyone's ass or hold them accountable. That coach cannot go to players and get in their ass in any way because Jerry Jones is the hidden coach on that team. That's a shame. 17 penalties would make me unhinged. Let me tell you about two things that make me go unhinged. Penalties, missed tackles. Because penalties is most of the time pre-snap stuff. Bro, it takes no talent to know when to line up and when the ball snapped, especially when you're on offense. How in the world can you have 17 penalties for 129 yards? Look at what you gave up in field position. Just in mentality, you gave up an entire field in a third. Dude, you can never win games like that. You're constantly behind the sticks. That is the prime identity of the Dallas Cowboys for the last 27 years. You could put all the talent on the field and on the roster that the Cowboys have put on for the last almost 30 years. But when you continually do stuff like that, there's no chance of you ever advancing in the playoffs. Good teams don't advance like that. They just don't. Ryan says that Sills Dallas is going nowhere fast. I completely agree. I said this and I made the prediction. I do not believe the Dallas Cowboys make the postseason. I do not. Okay, I do not think they go. Now, Name, I did like that. Sirianni calling out Saley on the sidelines. Penalties are a lack of discipline, but the Cowboys have been known to have a lack of discipline for 30 years. What a joke, man. I watched that game too. And you're just watching penalty after penalty. And then when Mike McCarthy gets asked questions about it after, he gets all butthurt because his football team is flopping around out there. And they did the same shit last year. Didn't they lead the NFL in penalties? I mean, what did you expect? Better coaching? Jerry Jones doesn't allow it. You can't coach players hard in Dallas. And most players want to be coached hard. Lawrence Taylor was coached hard by Bill Parcells. How many times you see Parcells and LT screaming at one another on the sidelines? Better get your guys' asses together. Better get your guys' asses. And he's like, I'm on it. I'm on it. Now, I don't care. I'm on it. How many times you hear Lawrence Taylor and Bill Parcells going back and forth like that? I'm on it. Playing with a sense of urgency like A.J. Brown does. Jesse, the Cowboys, if I were a Philadelphia Eagle fan, I would pray to God that Mike McCarthy signs a contract extension and they don't turn that thing over to Sean Payton. I would pray to God that he keeps saying that Mike McCarthy's his guy because Mike McCarthy is the modern-day version of George Seifert. Once Seifert left San Francisco and he went to Carolina, he was completely exposed with a 1-15 football team. Okay? That Cowboy team was terrible. Was terrible. And again, some of you will go, well, Sills, it was exhibition. Penalties should not happen in scrimmages, exhibition football, or games that matter. If you can't take care of shit in exhibition football, how are you going to flip a switch when the games matter and you got to play the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial with all you maniacs screaming at you? How are you playing that game in week 6 with that crowd on your ass in a game that's probably going to be for first place in the NFC East? Better have your shit together for that game, or the Eagles are going to give you a wake-up call. By the way, I'm more and more, I said the Cowboys would sweep you guys. I don't know, man. I may have to revamp that thing. That was a terrible they were just all over the place. That exhibition of football that the Cowboys put out there against the Broncos, I'd burn the tape. I wouldn't even watch it. I'd run your asses for 3 hours. Joseph, 17 penalties. Dude, 7 is something you kind of live with. Philly Ian, I'll be there. If that fan base is there and you're acting like that, the Cowboys are going to get run off the field. Nate says we do the sweeping. Just might be. We're going to find out a little bit more about the Eagles this week against Cleveland. Cleveland's got a damn good roster. And they got a heck of an offensive line, too. Yeah, Jeremiah, I think the Cowboys' depth sucks. You know why? How many times do I have to say this? And Jeremiah, I'm not hollering at you here with this. But check it out. You got $20 million and $45 million, $65 million in 2 guys. Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott. You got $65 million. And you got $10 million across the way in 5 old linemen. You got $115 million of your salary cap in 7 people of your offense. It's impossible to put a team together. Eagles start 10-0. I'd pump the brakes on that, old Cole. I'd pump the brakes on that. I'm going to talk a little bit about this Browns team. Also, Deshaun Watson. I liked what I saw with Trey Lance. I'm a pessimistic fool on him. I'll explain. Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson making some things happen. Also, this Browns team that the Eagles are going to be playing on Sunday. Gary Cobb also, my friends, will join us at 4:30 Eastern time from Fox 29. We got a big week lined up already, okay? Tomorrow, Joe Theismann, former NFL MVP, will join us. Then on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, I think Wednesday, we got Jared Bell from USA Today, a Pro Football Hall of Fame voter and insider. Mike Quick will be on Thursday, so we're packed all week long. Please hit the like button, hour number 2. Keep it here on the National Football Show.